All right. So today is fairly easy, fairly quick notes. It's changing from standard form to vertex form and vice versa. So hopefully you're like, oh, this is fairly quick. So to begin with, things just to remember, I'm going to always remind you the difference. So your standard form of an equation is your f of x. Your f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Your vertex form is f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. The parabola in vertex form, the coordinates of the vertex are h and k. Okay, so standard to vertex form. Step 1 is you identify your a. Step 2, find the vertex of the quadratic function. And then step 3, plug into vertex form. Now there is another way of going to standard to vertex, but we will learn that later on down the line. But for where we are in this unit, this is how it goes. So here we have f of x equals 3x squared minus 4x plus 50, okay? And we're going to follow the 3 steps. So remember, this is my A, this is my B, this is my C. So step 1 is identify your A. Our A equals 3. Step 2 is to find your vertex. And to find your vertex, remember you're using negative b divided by 2a, comma, whatever you get from that, you plug into the function to find your y. So we're going to find the x first. So x equals negative b divided by 2a. So negative 24 divided by 2 times 3 equals positive 24 divided by 6 equals 4. So then y equals f of 4, which equals 3 times 4 squared minus 24 times 4 plus 50. And we're going to go through following PEMDAS. So we have 3 times 16 minus 96 plus 50, which equals 3 times 16 is 48 minus 96 plus 50. 48 minus 96 is negative 48 plus 50. And negative 48 plus 50 is 2. So we have our x, we have our y, which in this case is going to be our h, and our k. Step 3 is to plug it into the vertex form. So f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So we have f of x equals, we have all 3 variables, right? 3 times
Hey, good morning, teachers. Pardon this interruption.
4.
Teachers, we are doing PSAT and PSAT and MSQT on Monday and Tuesday. The testing rosters are posted through Canvas and announcements, and they will be on Schoolhouse. Please review those testing rooms and assignments with your students so they know where to go. And please share your room relocations if your room has been used for testing, but you are not testing. Thank you.
All right. How do we feel about going from standard to vertex? Again, as you can see, it's just a repeat use of skills that we've already been building on, right? Nothing really new, just the end result. Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, we're gonna do a couple practice problems. So I would like for you to try this one. X squared minus 2x minus 3, and then we'll go over it. All right, so let's check and see what you guys did. Remember, when there is no visible coefficient, it's Casper the friendly one, right? So for part 1, your A should have equaled, obviously, 1. Part 2, on your vertex, your X should have equaled 1. And that's because you had negative 2 divided by 2 times 1 gives you 2 over 2. And then your Y should have equaled negative 4. And the reason why your Y would equal negative 4 is because if you plug 1 into f of 1, you get 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. 1 minus 2 minus 3 equals negative 1 minus 3 equals negative 4. So 3, we have Y equals, or f of x equals, x minus 1 squared minus 4. Uh-oh, that's a bad one. Cool? All right. One more practice. So we'll do it quickly together. On 1, my A was negative 2. Part B, x equals negative 2 divided by 2 times negative 2, which gives me negative 2 over 4 over negative 4, which equals positive 1/2. Then to find my Y, it equals f of 1/2. So I have negative 2 times 1/2 squared plus 2 times 1/2 plus 1. So negative 2 times 1/4 plus 1 plus 1. Negative 2 times 1/4 equals negative 2/4 plus 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. If you have $2 and you are spending a half, 50 cents, what are you going to be left with? 1.5. Or you could leave it as 3/2. However you want to write it. But again, you have your H, you have your K. So you can write your equation, f of x equals negative 2 x minus 1/2 squared plus 3/2. Okay, I chose this example or practice so that you guys can see that just because it's a fraction doesn't change the process. Nope. Same thing is going to take place. All right, question. Okay, we're going to go on to the second thing. So if you can recall the FOIL method, well, recall first off that when you have x minus r squared, it actually means that you have 2 x minus r. X minus r times x minus r. Okay? So when you have a binomial, these are binomials. Remember, they're binomials because it's 2 terms being added or subtracted. And to multiply the 2 binomials, we use the FOIL method. The FOIL method, you multiply your first terms in each binomial first, Then you multiply the outside terms and the inner terms, and then the last term of each binomial. And then from here, you combine like terms, and you get x squared plus 3x plus 2. Do you all remember the FOIL method? So how do we go from vertex to standard form? We expand the squared binomial, then we multiply using the FOIL method, and then we are going to combine like terms. Okay, so expand, multiply, combine like terms. Easy enough? Okay. So our example, f of x equals 2 times x minus 1 squared minus 3. So step 1 is to expand. So we have 2 times x minus 1 times x minus 1 minus 3. Step 2 is to FOIL. So I have this 2 is just there. FOIL begins. X times x, x squared. X times negative 1, negative x. Negative 1 times x is negative x. And then negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So we've completely FOILed. Step 3 is do everything you need to do to combine like terms. So in order to combine like terms, I'm going to have to distribute the 2, or I can wait, combine first, and then distribute, however you want to do it. I combine, then distribute. So when I distribute, then combine. So 2 times x squared, 2x squared. 2 times negative x is negative 2x. 2 times negative x, negative 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. Once you distribute, it gets rid of the parentheses. And now you're left with completing your combining. So we have 2x squared minus 4x minus 1. So f of x equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 1. All right. Comments about going from vertex to standard. Easy enough. We expand, FOIL, combine. Expand, FOIL, combine. So I'd like for you to pause, try the practice problems. 2. So step 1, once you expand, you should have had x minus 3 times x minus 3 plus 1. Then you would have used FOIL, and you get x squared minus 3x plus 9 plus 1. Combine your like terms, and you should end up with x squared minus 6x plus 10. How do we do? Easy enough? All right, one more practice. So again, following our steps. So I'm going to expand x plus 4 times x plus 4 plus 1. And I'm going to FOIL. That gives me x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16 plus 1. I can combine like terms or just distribute. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute the negative 3. Gives me negative 3x squared minus 12x minus 12x minus 48 plus 1. And then I end up with negative 3x squared minus 24x minus 47. Did it let you on? How do we do? Well, that is it. So that's it for the notes. You should be able to complete your full classwork for 2-2. The back, the last 6 through 11. On the front, number 5, just wanted to remind y'all that number 5 is just a graph. It's not asking you to find the exact vertex, but to just sketch based on the characteristics that you're given.